welcome to CFC Fan TV. This is our Newcastle-Chelsea preview, and I'm still joined by the wonderful Rory. We're very excited about this fixture. I am going up. I'm going to vlog the game as well, so look out for that one. And hopefully, I'm talking about a win, because the last few times I've been to Newcastle, I always remember. I think it was maybe it was under Mourinho. This one, we were absolutely awful in the first half.
Did we draw 2-2? Ramirez?
Yeah, it was horrendous, and I was in a very, very vile mood.
Ramirez scored from about the halfway line.
Yeah,
Walloped it.
And it's generally a Newcastle way. If any of you guys know, even though it's so far up the country, it's actually quite an easy. It's quite easy to get there. It's a very, very good day out for everybody. It's a very good away day, and I thoroughly enjoy it. You spend the weekend there normally. I'm not doing that this time, but yeah, it's a great city, and it's got a great atmosphere, and they are a brilliant football club. You know, they've got a great fan base.
Yeah.
And it's a very intimidating stadium. You really feel it when you're in there.
It's a great ground, and we haven't had a particularly proud record there over the years. However, I would say that record isn't quite what it looks like. If you look at it on paper, it's very poor. But you've got to remember, I remember going there a decade or so ago under Mourinho. We played their last game of the season. We drew, but we'd already won the league with maximum points. You know, not maximum, but we'd won the league with a new record amount of points. And we played there the last day. We got a draw. We didn't need to win. I think the same thing happened a couple of years later. So although it's been a very poor place for us to go, I can remember getting battered 3-0 relatively recently. That was horrible. You're right. The 2-2 performance when Ramirez scored was also terrible. But there have been some good occasions there. I can remember Ida Johnson knocking in a winner when I was very young and went up. So hopefully we will continue in that vein,
and they haven't
because
had
we
the
need
best
to
start,
win.
have they?
No, they've had a shocker. Did you see their game against Cardiff?
Yeah, I think drawing against Cardiff, considering I don't think Cardiff are going to do that well this season, just in my opinion. And I think those are the sort of games they should be winning if they want to maintain a place in the Premier League and stay high up.
Also, it's such an unforgiving league that if you have an opportunity to win it, you know, if you have a penalty, if you're away from home, the score is 0-0, and you have a penalty, you've got to knock that in. Yeah, you've got to knock that in. And it was our boy, it was Kennedy.
Yeah,
what a performance that was.
Well, to be fair though, I mean, my old boss is Newcastle, so we used to go up together and have a bit of banter and whatever. And he's a favourite. They do like Kennedy up there.
Yeah, he just had a game from hell. You know, in the first half, I think it was a new record set since 2010 that a player hasn't made one successful pass in a half.
Way.
Literally not one pass was made successfully by Kennedy in that first half. So he had a really bad day, and you know.
And I think, you know, to be fair to all the teams in the Premier League, I think this season more than ever, we're going to see games where teams don't play particularly well but do get the result.
Yeah.
Like us, I think we're going to see a lot of those.
Yeah.
And I think it's up to Newcastle and teams like that to take advantage of that.
To give Kennedy a bit of respite here, Hayden being sent off, he's the real villain. Like, you know, don't get sent off in such a way, don't get sent off in such an idiotic way and expect your team to be able to come back from that. You know, it's very difficult, this league. So yeah, we should be beating Newcastle. We had a hard fixture. You know, our opening fixtures, they didn't look too bad on paper, and the tough one was going to be Arsenal, and we've won that. So now we have to capitalise. We have to go into the international break on maximum points, and I think we will.
Yeah. So me and Rory have created the team, although it's more or less the same as what we saw against Arsenal, but we've done this in the fact that I think there are moments in the Arsenal game where we didn't play particularly well, but the key to remember this is, the key to take from that is that although we didn't play particularly well, the team and Sarri's substitutions came in, eventually got the job done in one of our toughest games.
And there were moments, I agree with you really that overall it wasn't a great performance, but I think that there were moments of brilliance in that performance.
100%.
So if we can just make
and also there were moments, I'd say actually it's only in that game where we actually saw Morata sort of begin to show us what he can do, like before he came to Chelsea in the first place.
So yeah, I think that this team will win the game. I'm going to put it up now. Do you agree with this team?
So there is mine and Rory's starting 11. We think we've got it spot on, and we're going to talk through our.
They're not going to agree with this.
No, they're not going to. But we're going to take you through it and why we've chosen that team, and also we can actually discuss what substitutions we expect to see throughout the game, because there will be. And this team is based on how the second half's going to go and who we're going to bring on to make an impact if things aren't going as well. Because I myself said to Rory this before we started the video, I expect us to concede a goal against Newcastle. I just see it happening for some reason. I know, like I say, they haven't had the best form, but it doesn't really matter. You know, Arsenal played terrible games and they seem to beat us, and I feel like Sarri got it spot on at the weekend. So,
yes.
More or less.
Right, let's talk through this team.
Yeah, okay, so obviously Kepa's in goal. He didn't have... I mean, you could say he let in 2 goals against Arsenal, but then you could also say that a lot of that was our back line's fault.
I don't think there was anything you could do about the second one. I think that you could make a case for him getting near Mkhitaryan's. I think that the fact that he got a hand to it and it was at his near post means that I think he himself will think that he could have done better with that.
Right. They were aiming very low. Maybe that,
Not low, not enough they weren't. They're smashing it over the bar for that half.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah.
But I think that he will be a little bit hard on himself and think that he should have got that one. Nothing he could do about the second one. And early days, I think he's doing very well.
And also, it was his first game at the Bridge in probably one of the most important games of the season.
Yeah.
So I think we'll sidestep that. And obviously, we haven't really got any other options. I mean, he is our main one, and he is the one that we need to look out for. So he's in goal. Then our back line. Obviously, we've got Dave Aspilicueta on the right. On the left is Alonso.
Any debate to be had around Aspilicueta? Listen,
Dave, I would say for the first time ever, is probably the only time I've ever criticised him in a good. Probably since that game against Palace last season, but I think other than he really doesn't make many mistakes. I think he's just trying to get used to playing in a back four. A lot of the pundits were saying in their reviews afterwards the same sort of thing. He did leave that side exposed quite a lot because I was watching on screen, so I could properly see it. When you're at a game and you're vlogging and you're doing all these things, you miss certain things. But Dave really didn't have the best of games. But I do want to give him game time to get him used to that formation. That's the only way he's going to get over that. And I feel a bit sorry for Dave in a way because he's played so many different roles. We've put him in the left, we put him in a free. Now he's gone back to the right. I mean, he must be thinking, what on earth's going on here?
Yeah, I know, but this is at least what seems to be his most natural position. So I think that he needs to improve upon his performance against Arsenal, but he does start this game.
Yeah.
Right, who's over the other side?
Alonso, obviously.
Obviously.
There is no way you can't put Alonso in this team. No way. I mean, if we weren't having him in defence, I'd be putting him up front. I'd be putting him anywhere.
I think some people, I'm not part of this tribe, but I think you can make a case for Palmieri playing in that position. Perhaps he's more suited to a 4 at the back. You could also suggest that Marcos Alonso isn't a natural fullback. But for me, he starts. I just think he's too valuable. I think what he offers for us is so impressive. Mm-hmm. And I mean, people often dismiss it because he's a defender, but his goal scoring record is outrageously good.
Yeah, for a defender.
He scored the same amount of goals, Premier League goals, as Danny Welbeck. He's a left back.
Yeah,
Danny Welbeck's been playing here his whole life.
He comes up with some very, very important goals as well.
Huge. Right, so into the centre-backs. Now, I think this one could get a bit of debate going, so please do us a favour, comment below. Do you agree with our suggestions? I don't think they're going to, Soph.
No, but then again, I sort of disagree with this to an extent. So we have gone with David Luiz and Rudiger in the middle. Rudiger I love. For me, he has to go in. I think he's a great signing. I think he's one signing that a lot of fans weren't exactly ecstatic about when he came. He got a lot of criticism, especially when I'm doing the fan cams. There weren't really very many good words said about him up until now. And I think he definitely has become a very solid defender and he has to go in the team. David Luiz for me, and a lot of you fans are going to shout at me, for me, I think he's a great player. I mean, his spell at Chelsea before he came back. I mean, I remember watching him, at Craven Cottage in Fulham and
in that goal.
He's got some of the things some of the goals he comes up with, some of the tricks he does on the pitch. They are second to none. But sometimes he does get a little bit overexcited and is prone to making silly mistakes.
We haven't seen that lately, though.
No, but in the Huddersfield game, he sort of tumbled over one of the players.
He was fouled.
No, not on this. Not that occasion. It was just he just gets a bit overexcited and is prone to make a silly mistake. So that's
but
the only reason.
Are you happy with the team that we've because my suggestion was Luis Rudiger.
I'm a massive Christensen fan, so I do want him to get.
That's what I think people are going to be saying here.
Right, and I do want him to get some game time throughout the season. I feel a little bit like he's been a little bit hard done by not remaining, having his place in the team remain because I think he was fantastic in that season. When actually, to be fair, a lot of our other defenders weren't really performing as well as him. For some reason, he's been pushed out to make a better back four. But I mean, it's up. You guys decide. You guys comment below and let us know who you think is more worthy of a place.
So then we've gone from midfield 3 of Jorginho, Kante, and Ross Barkley. And again, I don't think this is going to go down too popular either.
Well, I did nearly say to you, let's put Kovacic in. But, like I say again, I don't think Barkley had a terrible game against Arsenal.
No, he didn't. Loads of people are giving him a lot of grief.
And I think he's improved. In the last 2 games, I think he's improved.
And Sarri likes him. Sarri's obviously he's got something that Sarri's very fond of.
Yeah. So I have put him in, and that's with the hope that we can talk about some subs now, that in the second half, if things aren't going to plan or if we're drawing, something like that, then we can bring on the likes of Kovacic and whoever else. What I don't want to do is have Kovacic on in his first starting lineup and things go south and then we haven't really got... I wouldn't be comfortable bringing Barkley off the bench thinking that he would be a better substitution.
Yeah, look, there's no doubt that Kovacic deserves to start in this team. There's no doubt that he's up to the challenge. There's no doubt that we would be a better team with him starting. But it's a very long season. We need to ease him in. I don't necessarily think that his first start for Chelsea should be an away game.
And Newcastle, where our record
so
ain't that great.
I think we have to ease him in. I think we have to really preserve him because he's so precious. So he's going to start on the bench, and Ross Barkley, Jorginho, who I think is brilliant. That ball that he played through for Alonso before Alonso crossed it for Pedro's goal was just sublime. And N'Golo Kante doing this sort of forward-thinking play at the moment is really, really good as well. So it's a good midfield. So then moving forward into the front three.
Yeah, front three we've gone for Willian, Pedro and Morata. Now for me, when we don't have Hazard on the pitch, it's vital that Pedro starts. Not that we've got many other options anyway, but you cannot not have... You have to have one or the other for me, because Pedro is probably our fastest player on the pitch.
He's so good for a goal, Pedro, as well.
Yeah, and
he's
also
one of our most potent threats. And also, you've got to remember, Pedro's going to be so good in this system because he's played this system his whole life. This expansive game is what he was brought up doing. Yeah. So,
and do you know what I think? I think he got a lot of stick last season because I thought it was unnecessary. I think a lot of fans put the blame on him when really a lot of the problem was more our midfield and having someone to go with Kante. So I think now that we've got that sorted, we're now able to see the brilliance of Pedro and how good he is.
For sure. So Pedro will be on one side. We've gone for Willian on the other.
I thought, to be fair, I thought that first 25 minutes of Arsenal up until that mistake he made, but you could argue
did he? But this is another one. I'm not. Can you do us a favour and comment below? Who was responsible in that exchange between Barkley and Willian that led to an Arsenal goal? Because Willian got a lot of stick there, and again, I don't think I agree.
Well, I don't think Ross Barkley didn't make that pass again. I don't think Willian's going to switch off again. So I think either way you look at it, I think we had a good before that happened. I thought we had a great 25 minutes.
Mistake.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Whichever, but I don't think either of them are going to do that again. I think that's a lesson learned, and good job it happened early on in the season.
And then Alvaro Morata up front.
Yeah, I think.
What a good goal he scored.
It was
such a good centre forwards goal. It's so great to see him doing that.
Do you know what? It is great. I think he is going to find form. Hopefully. I know it's the first I'm saying it because I've been very critical of him, and I don't know if he's going to be as good as Diego Costa and whoever else. And for me, putting Batshuayi out on loan wasn't the brightest idea I've ever heard of, whether you like him or not.
That picture, do you see the picture of, because obviously Valencia were playing?
Yeah, he's now got his same name.
Yeah, and they were
matching names.
There was a picture of Diego Costa and Michy Batshuayi, and I was looking at those two, and I just thought, I'd love to have those two at Chelsea this season.
I mean, there's a partnership, we don't really play with top front, do we? Either or, though, I think it is, again, good for us to see what Morata can do, and I hope that he shows that confidence he did in the Arsenal game, because if he goes up there, timid, falling on the floor, trying to get a foul, it's not going to happen. Just get up and try and make a go of it, and I think what he did, his goal against Arsenal was the first time he didn't fall on the floor and actually decided to go for it and show some initiative.
And did a great finish.
Yeah, okay.
So, that's our team. Do us a favour, comment below. Do you agree with it? Do you think that we have overprotected the likes of Hazard and Kovacic, or have we got it spot on? I don't think they're going to say that.
I hope. Well, yeah, but we like it when you guys disagree with us. So feel free to.
You're going up. You're vlogging.
I'm going up. I'm vlogging, and I'm going to be there for fan cams after. So if you do want to have your say, please come and see me. I'm just outside the away end where I normally stand when I go up to Newcastle. So hopefully I can catch a few of you, and hopefully it's a nice day and not raining. It's definitely the north of England's not been too kind to me over the years. But comment below, and if you like this video, please click the subscribe button.